6 seconds.
Hey, well, here we are both together back at Bar Mills. I just want to give you an appropriate warning in advance that we went to a wired internet, and I managed to cut the wire between my home and our shop here. So right now we're doing wireless, and that's what gave us all the trouble when we first started things. So if this doesn't go through tonight, be aware that it's my fault. I screwed it up. And we even have some bugs in here tonight, some mosquitoes. Anyhow, we're going to do this as quickly as we can. We're going to do a different kind of a show tonight. We have no guests, but we do have a lot of modeler photos. I know there are groups out there, Jack follows them, that you'll see somebody on a group and they'll talk about their build for a month or more. And so it looks like a lot of things are being built, but you have no idea how many photos we've gotten. Jack, I know you haven't seen them. We've 2, all in the same month. And we're going to basically dedicate this session tonight towards the modelers that have given us their efforts and share their efforts with us, as well as a great clinic by Jack that we will be airing as well. All right? Just one clinic. Okay. And so basically where we would normally feature new products and so on, and we just don't have them. We are working feverishly what looks to be a great new Christmas kit. Plus, we have a new series of kits that are going to be in the works. Plus, we are on the O-scale version right now. We had the N-scale version done and started shipping of Clark's. The O-scale version was supposed to start last week, and then our boy Lenny came down with COVID again. And we ended up having to close last week, basically, because no one, he's the production manager. And without him managing, there's just no production to be had. So he's feeling great, just so you know. He's running this whole show tonight. Hopefully the Wi-Fi holds out. We do have a new camera here. I'd like to see what you guys think of the graphic on if it makes a difference on your end. That would be great. We do have Dan Lutz, Bob Dye, Tim Winchell, Interaction Hobbies. Good day. Sounds Aussie. Todd Bryan as usual. Glenn Hedrick from Canada. Anthony Borden. Steve Moskin. Who do you have on that one?
Mike Cassie, Steve Manta, and Bruce Kutch.
Bruce Kutch, a famous O-scaler here. He's going to be sharing some of
we got one of his
photos. So we're going to turn this over to Lenny. If you have any questions about techniques or anything else, yes, I know pretty much what I have to know with these things, but of course Jack is with us, so why go to the B team when you have the A team right here? Lenny, would you like to take it away? We'll keep our mics open, so what we've done here is a little different.
I got a lot more.
A lot more? Who do you have? Mark Hagan?
Jeff DeVito.
Oh, Gene Singh from Carolina.
Mark Hagan.
What I did was when you guys sent in your photos, I copied a lot of your emails. So you have some comments about what we're going to be seeing, and we're actually going to read the emails from the builders at the same time as we're showing the pictures and get a little insight as to how they worked on these models.
Clark's even here.
And Clark Kooning. Okay. Hi, gentlemen.
I don't know who he's talking about.
Not me. Yeah. Anyhow, here we go. Len, would you like to kick this off, guy?
You got it.
Punt it.
Hi, how goes it tonight? As he said, I am well, somewhat. If I cough a little bit, oh well, I can't give you COVID to the screen.
Yeah, don't get too close to the screen.
So, as Art mentioned, we have a ton of photos tonight. So let's jump into it. A lot of these modelers are long-time, many-time modelers. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're new, certainly send us some photos as well.
You got to keep in mind, folks, that all of these photos have been sent to us since the last broadcast. So these are not older. They're not things that we've been building up. It's just that we've had so much activity in the modeling end of the Bar Mills community that we really did want to share these with all of you. Okay, so Lenny?
All right, so let's see. Our first photo comes from Scott Chartier. And
this is interesting.
This is Robin's Crow's Nest. This is, as always, a fantastic model by him.
Now, this is a special model. I have an email here. Let me tell you. We spoke about having a contest coming up, and this is actually an entry. Now, this is the only one we will be showing. If you'd like to be part of the contest, send us your photos. If you have already sent them, send them again, because things have been pretty wonky around here. So Scott wrote to us, hello, here's my submission for the contest. This was fun. I started out with a waterfront Willys as the main building and rotated the roof and dormer 90 degrees. The fishing shack was added as an office on the left, and the shed from Cundy Village diorama was placed on the right as well, also as a storage shed. The piers were used from both kits, and the staircase was moved from Willys to allow access to lower decking, which was built from floating docks from the kit, and the walkway from the fishing shack. To keep my wife happy, with Christmas coming up, to give you an idea, he named the building after her. I really had a great time doing this. Hope you liked it. Best regards, Scott. So when we got this photo, he kind of broke it down and showed us what he was up to. Here again, this is part of one of the contest entries. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. So thank you, Scott.
All right. Next up, we have another photo from Scott. Let's see here what we got. This is the bait boat. It's been around a long time. We've gotten a few of these photos, but again, Scott has done a wonderful job. As everything he does. Really, really, really wonderful job.
You can comment.
Let's see here. Just
I like
something.
I like the way Scott did his staining on his boards on the side. That looks really good. Nice weathering there.
And he did, but it looks to me like he used the idea of the toilet paper for the roof. You see how thin it is?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It looks like it, yeah.
What do you,
I like the sag in the awning there by the door. That looks good.
yeah, great job, Scott.
Yeah.
What do you have for us next
All
one?
right, let's see what is next. Next we have Robert Dye. And let's see here. This is appears to be a downtown garage. He's done a little bit of kit bashing here on the back of it. If I'm not mistaken, this appears to be an HO scale.
Well, I have some comments here. By the way, Bob Gembel is on, and he said Lenny's mic isn't working. So check your volume on your mic, Lenny, okay? Bob Dye, who I know is listening tonight, Bob, wrote to us regarding this is the first kit that included a fire department connection, which is true. On that particular kit, which is downtown garage and HO, there is a fire department connection. With a minor background in fire safety and sprinkler protection, I couldn't just add the parts to any old wall, so I made a staircase add-on from Monster Model Works, let me get that, HCB sheet for the second floor access. HCB, what's that mean? I have no idea what that means, but it's a monster model addition to this. This will also house the fire main to the upper floor. He says I added a 1.5-inch main drain and a turned wood fire alarm, so it must be a wood turner. This photo also shows the added downspouts from the corner scuppers. So here's some insight. So if you're looking at this photo, you know exactly what he did. It's unusual to show a model from the back because we don't picture it like that. But this is about the technique, and he wanted to share this with us all. Any comments on this, Jack?
A little different. That's kind of cool. I like the idea of adding the staircase to the top, because it's really hard to figure out how they did get the staircase in the building. But this is a way that shows it. That's kind of cool.
Okay, I also have a question. When will Lenny's truck service will be available? Right after we finally release Clark's O-scale version, and then Lenny's is coming out in HO. Lenny, do you have another photo, sir?
I do. Next up, we have Mark Davia with his Cundy Hotel. I love this. I'm a fan of Florida and the way everything is done in Florida, and this reminds me of a Disney resort as far as the colors and the paint scheme, and this might be a little haunted of a resort, but it looks wonderful. Mark always does a really, really great job.
I think the palm trees help a little bit too.
That too.
I think his wife had helped him out with some of the scenery on this. And, we had a lot of pictures of the Cundy Hotel come in. It's amazing how many guys are building it. And we seem never to go a month without at least seeing 1 or 2 or 3 pictures of this. So the colors are different, which is great because it shows some individuality there. And it looks like he has a really big palm right in the back of it. I'm not quite sure.
I think he's used the southern colors. I think that's definitely true. Key West or Florida. Those are colors they use.
Yeah, you could beat the hell out of this, and Darrell Huffman thought he built it. So it just depends. It just depends on the approach you want to take. Lenny, what do we have next, sir? That's Mark Davia, by the way. Okay.
Yes. Let's see what we have next here. right. Next up, we have John Greenwood. And if memory serves me right, John is from the land down under, correct?
He is. He's also an N scaler, which makes it great because we've shown all kinds of scales tonight. And I don't see the picture up. Okay, there's a couple. Now that's his salmonellas, and N scale comes with a little side shed. So here again, John Greenwood, this from Australia, more N scale models. So you don't have to be an HO to enjoy the hobby.
No, that looks real good.
No, and this is a wonderful job. You know, again, we've gotten quite a few photos from him at this point, but this, another excellent example of his modeling. Next up, another fine example from John is Old Dominion.
Now he took a different approach on this. He made it into a motorcycle shop.
Yeah.
So, now, do they drive motorcycles on the right side of the road down there, or how's that work?
That's our attempt at humor here, folks.
I've got 4 kids. Dad jokes. They happen.
Dad jokes. Anyway, happy Father's Day to all of you. I hope you each got a Bar Mills kit.
Yeah, I did.
No other kits, just Bar Mills
I did
kits. You don't get. I'm going to give you one. Okay, I'll give you something.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid.
Anyhow, that's an N scale version. Now you understand this kit comes in N and HO scale as well, and they are identical. And whenever I see John's work, I always think it's HO because he just does it so well. He has a very nice.
Absolutely, touch. Very highly detailed. Mm-hmm. Next up, we're going to move to a different John. Let's see here. This is, I believe, an HO scale Secklers. This is definitely HO. I can tell because maybe.
It is. And John Touros, I believe, is from Massachusetts, and he loved the kit, but it's not. Did I say it was? It's not. It's N scale.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because I can tell by the windows off to the side. Yes, right. Correct.
It just shows you what you can do. And
this is really, really impressive.
It's identical in HO scale, so you could see what we kind of mishap on that. If you don't have Secklers, it's an amazing background building based on a prototype that Jack had originally come up with.
I like his coloring as a stucco. It's not one continuous color. He's got shades of different colors in it, and makes it a lot more interesting than just one color. And again, I like when he did the same thing I did, ran the vent up onto the roof and then back up, keep going on up. It kind of extends it all the way through. I like that.
Next, what do we have?
Next up, we have Jim Talbert with. Actually, this is from the FSM Tribute version 1 kit, correct?
I don't know.
That's a change.
Yes, that is.
You know what? It is not.
It's not.
Well, no! What it is?
Go ahead, but
It is. Jim did. I have 2 pictures up that we put up for Jim because he did such amazing work. Look at the detail on this. Anybody who's built this, this is only available in N scale from us because it was a George Celios kit, and George gave us permission to do N scale versions, not HO versions.
It's at the end of it.
That's right. It's the Jeffries Point kit in N scale, and look at the detail he put. He took. You can see the quarter there. You see the quarter leaning up against it. So it just shows you, we have all kinds of stuff going on here tonight. And Len, I think if you go to the next photo.
Yep, the next photo is the same structure. Right. Let's see here. Again, a wonderful shot of some really impressive modeling. I think it gets lost in other scales as far as everybody thinks HO scale. But, you can do some amazing modeling in N scale and O scale, S scale. I mean, really, it's not so much about the size; it's about how much detail you put into it. And I love seeing these photos and honestly not knowing right off the bat what scale that is, because it just shows the fine detail that you can have and not limit yourself to one scale or what is popular.
What's the next line?
Next up, we have Jim Donovan and another Cundy Hotel.
Well, let's take a look at this now. You can edit that down a little bit, Jack. Jack's going to cover this one.
Oh, good.
And yet another Cundy. And this is an interesting story. Jack has Jim Donovan's email here, if he can see it. And if you can't, I'll read it.
I had to go to my other classes. Basically, what he's saying that he was working on saving some files, and it was during the pandemic. I never got time to set a scene. I'm not great at taking photos. That said, I thought you might still like to see the Cundy Hotel in its prime. She had copper roofs, mahogany floors, railings, trims, even gold leaf. Every room wall papered.
Whoa.
Carriage main entrance led to copper doors with a grand staircase leading to the second floor. Third floor and tower contain a library with spiral staircase leading up to the cigar room. A magnificent view of the town could be seen from any of the directional windows. All rooms had Edison new electric lights. He's being as a valued customer. The upper backside rooms were for the staff, and the others for more price-conscious customers. So actual construction took about 5 months. Many little parts and super care and placement were the order of the day. The windows are clover glass. That alone is a lot of work. The other mods can be seen. The windows on the back are just the beginning for that side. I plan to have rear double doors entrance where the wings come together. Outdoor covered walkways to be the second floor and much plainer than the front. A cookhouse will be added to the scene. Currently, I am moving, so everything is packed away now, but someday I hope for the Queens to take her rightful place on the Hotel Odessa Railroad. Hope you enjoy the photos.
Can you imagine that? How many days? 5 months. And we've been getting a lot of this kind of thing, especially with this kit, because it is an intense kit. There's no getting around it. I mean, 2 thumbs up. There you go, Jim.
I can see the smoke coming out of the no.
I love the story.
Cigar room.
All right.
Next up, we have
It is a nice
Jeff Conover. Now, we'll see what happens when it comes up. I'm not sure what this is. It looks to be kind of a kit bash.
I'll tell you what this is. He's an N-scaler, and he actually, his email read, I have a completely scratch-built N-scale layout of a small Maine coastal town. Now, he happens to live in Maine, I can tell you that. Modeled during the 1910s to 20s, the only kit I have is your Pinkham's Pallet Company, which is not any longer available in HO, just in N. I've had your number 1 kit, which is available in HO, for a few years and never knew what to really do with it. Leafing through the instructions the other day, I was inspired and came up with this early filling station. Everything is the number 1 kit except for the base, the roofs, the signs, and the freeze boards over the lights. The lights, by the way, are from Woodland Cynics, and the shingles on the peaked roof are from Wild West, our friends out in Wild West scale model builders. I still have to make a pump and the chimney. So that's another N scale. This time it's an N scale of a 1 kit, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And thanks Jeff Conover from Maine here. In the meanwhile, we have Calvin Saxton saying nice job to Robert Dye. And Robert Dye also says HCB means hollow concrete block. So that's what we were talking about, okay? Yep. That was from Monster Model Works, with Jimmy Simmons, right? Yeah. Okay, good evening from Ron Class. Okay.
Next up, we have Glenn Hedricks with his TJ Riley's. Let me see here.
TJ Riley's by Glenn Hedricks. Glenn is a Canadian modeler, and you can see what he just sent this up to us today, and it's just to share. And I don't have any real heavy text on this, but that's the HO scale TJ Riley's, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
And he also sent us one other photo, Len. What is that, please?
Let's see here. The next photo is this one has Jack's backyard in it to the right, and then
that's the Dynamite Shack.
I was going to say, is that the Dynamite Shack?
Years ago, we had a kit called the Dynamite Shack. It was one of our basic kits, and he said I remember the email that he had to really look hard to find this thing, and it's the first time I've ever seen a picture of it. So at any rate, that also from Glenn Hedrick up in Canada. Who's next, Len?
Next up, we have Frank with his, actually, there's a few things in this photo. Right. We've got a TJ Riley's to the left, and then we have Bull Salvage to the right. This is highly impressive. Looks really good. Really
good. I think we
good.
have more than one of his photos.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if Frank may not be an O scale, but I don't recall. Because both of these kits are available.
Yep.
This O scale as well as HO.
Yep. This is definitely O scale.
Okay.
If you take a look at the bowls, you can actually see a special chimney that comes in the O scale bowls. And this is something, we've gotten a few photos on the O scale bowls. If you've ever built the O-scale bowls, it comes with a ton of extra windows and doors. What happened is when we first designed that kit, we were trying to think of ways to, I guess throw more things at the kit that weren't necessarily detail casting.
Well, there's salvage castings, though, Len.
Exactly.
It's a salvage company, not a junkyard.
Right, exactly. So in that package, you get a ton of extra windows and doors, and it's nice to see someone really use those,
and the same,
to this
same holds
degree.
true with the HO scale version. Although we were able to make more scrap, and it was just easier to do. Frank sent more than one photo.
Yep. The next photo from him is the bowls actually lit up. Now, again, very, very impressive. I mean, this looks really, really good.
Look at all those window panes. If you have any windows, folks, that you're not using, this is an ideal situation because it's just incredible detail. And if you have them laying around anyhow, or maybe they're out of the kit, and in our case, we generally give you extra windows, especially when it comes to laser cut ones. You can utilize them like this. It's just a great way to detail a scene without spending a lot of money.
Yeah, break some up. Break a couple of them up too, so they're not all the same. They would have had broken windows thrown in there too.
Absolutely. And Calvin Saxon says a very well-lit photo. I would say so too.
Okay, next up we have quite a few from David Solomon. His first photo is his version of the Old Dominion. I could be mistaken, but I believe this is N scale.
It is. Let me get into this now. David Solomon's a very old customer of ours. I don't think he's as old as I am. No one is. And he wrote a note saying a few months back that I mentioned on First Monday about modifying bar mills kits. I'm not building them straight out of the box very often. So this will have to do, if you want to roll through a few pictures, Len, by Dave. I've modified the Majestic hardware, opened the doors, added a partial interior and a new dock building. Also modified Billings baked goods. Changed the roofing material. Billings is only available in N scale. He's also added billboards, partial interiors, and rooftop accesses whenever he could. And the Old Dominion Broom Company, he changed the foundation, he changed the left end, and on Jeffrey's point, he did a lot of modifications, as well as Mooney's Plumbing. I wish I would have had time to take better photos. I think he did great. So these are all now that's the one you're seeing is Old Dominion. And I don't know how many photos he sent us. There's one. This is an N scale Jeffrey's Point.
Yeah.
And you can see what he did. And there was some modification. He likes to kit bash him. I think many of us do as we go along. It doesn't have to be a major big kit bash. You can see Mooney's, he actually built the secondary building off to the rear instead of to the side. Right. So another one by David Solomon. And I don't know if he has any more, Len.
No, that's it from David.
Thanks, David. Thanks very much. And we have Gene Trumbull. How you doing, Gene? Good evening from Florida. Jeff Sykes says hello from Michigan. Nissy J, hi everyone. And going back just a little bit. Backward Boy Small Engines. That sounds interesting. Backward Boy Small Engines. Hello, gentlemen. I'm new to the channel. Welcome, Backward Boy. And he's new to the chat. I don't know who he is, but you might want to look him up and see.
Welcome anyway.
See what he's walking backwards into, but we'll find out.
He knows where he's been.
He knows.
All right. Next up, we have Dave Crumpton with Jaggers Welding. He's obviously changed the name to Matt's Welding Company. That works. And now this is a structure that we honestly, admittedly, don't get a whole lot of photos of. I know plenty of you have purchased this kit, so send me some photos, please. No, but again, this a very clean job, very good job. We actually have two different photos of this structure here. Let's see here. Second photo is of the other side.
Yeah, we got some notes that he sent in, so I thought I'd read it. He says, a while back I bought and assembled the Jagger welding and cutting structures. I'm submitting it as part of my NMRA structure certificate requirement to get credit for this kit build. I use the exact colors called for in the build, but do not remember the colors I used. I am very proud and pleased with it. Let me, as a part-time judge for NMRA, the colors you use don't have to be exactly what people used in the build of the thing. The colors that you think appropriate are better to use sometimes than what they do. So don't worry about the exact colors. Just tell them what colors you did use, and they'll be happy with that. And then none of those people are going to go back and look up to see which color was actually used in the prototype of the building. And I think the colors you've selected are excellent. There's nothing wrong with them at all. You've got some nice texture on your brick, and your stucco looks really good. I'd have to really look at it close, but it looks very, very well done. Your joints are all good. I think you'll do well with it. I think you'll get your 78 points that you need.
And Jack knows because he is actually a part-time judge for the. Well, everybody's part-time. Nobody's working full-time for the NLRA.
But that's all right.
Anyhow, what do we have next?
Next up,
photos. You guys have been great. I don't know how the chat rooms work, but this is a lot of photos in 1 month.
Next up, we have a photo from Daryl Huffman.
This was sent to us today, and this is strange. I did not print out an email from Daryl, but we used to make something called Zach's Shack. This was a basic kit made out of, it was named after my grandson, Zachary. And he just wanted to share it, and you could see exactly what he did with it. It was a little side thing, and, Daryl can make, gold out of sand, and it's a very basic kit, but with the right approach, you see what he did. We also have another one from Daryl.
Yep. Next up, we have a version of the, kind of a playoff of the Dock House.
Okay, well, you know what? When you see the Dock House picture, I can tell you, I actually have that model. That's going to be a prototype for a kit we're going to be coming out in the future as an ore mining company. Of course, it's not quite done. We have to detail it out, and we will be offering it as you see there. But it's going to be a little bit in the distant future because we're so backed up. So that's just a peek ahead. But it was designed by Daryl based on Bar Mills Kit Bash and Kit Bash some more. And of course, we'll be adding yet more things to make it unique and bring it away from the original waterfront scene into something that Daryl feels works really, really well for this purpose. And frankly, he knows so much more about this than I do. So I bow to Daryl Huffman on this one, and we appreciate the picture.
Next up, we have a few from Bruce Kutch. This first one here is the Town Line Tire, which this is O-scale. Town Line Tire is only available in O-scale. Bruce has been a long-time O-scale customer and, sends us photos pretty regularly. I love to see them. It's, again, like I was saying earlier with the N-scale model, it's nice to see, other scales, really take it up a notch and, bring the detail that you often see in HO scale.
Now, you can run through these pictures a little bit. Jack's going to read an email from Bruce regarding some of his photos.
All are O-scale and are in my home basement layout. The first one is the Town Line Tire and Battery. And you can see, I'm going to read and kind of critique as we go, so it might be just as easy as we do each one. You can see the detail, the type of detail for O-scale. He's done a really nice job on the service station and all the stuff that's around it. What's our next picture?
Next up from him, we have... it's a whole diorama of multiple different things. Amos cutters. You've got the feature in the center there, the Idaho Hotel, along with Wanda's, which... I guess you could go from one to the other. Really, in the forefront, you'll see the Gravely building.
That's not the Gravely in the front.
That isn't?
No, it's not. But it certainly is Wanda's, the Idaho.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Now, try to keep in mind, folks, that this is O-scale. We've covered N, we've covered HO, and it's what this company is about. It's what we try to do is make sure everyone is entitled to really good quality models, and hopefully there's a little something for everybody, even in scales that maybe they don't model in themselves. What do you have from Bruce on this?
Bruce has a little note here about the Wicked Wandas and the Idaho Hotel and the Amos Cutter, which he calls Bar Mills Row. Note the handy location of Wicked Wandas for the Hotel Idaho overnight guests. I guess... This is real prototype, folks.
I'm getting a feeling Bruce must live in Reno or something. I don't know.
Reno, Virginia.
Reno, Virginia.
Next up from him, we have the Bud Smileys.
Yeah, he's got
He has a big sign on the top. Now that's lit. That's by Chris Miller over at Miller Engineering, the Texaco sign.
Yeah, but and he's got plenty of cars going in and out. I mean, they're backed up. Must be this time of year.
He is a high railer.
Yeah, it's $6 a gallon for gas, so it must be now. It must be right now because this car's waiting. So
anyhow, that's a great job, and O-scalers tend to model very congested in a lot of ways because their space is so limited compared to the size of what they're modeling that they do fit a lot of story into a little space.
His other note is, I apologize for the foreground obstructions, but my layout is pretty busy and some scenes are just not optimally accessible for photographs.
Yeah, he did a great job. What else do you have? I know you have more from Bruce, right?
Yep, I've got 3 more. Next up is the REA.
REA.
No, he's got the REA, and actually on the other side of it is the Springfield. Yep. I don't think we've ever gotten an O-scale photo with both of these in the same photo.
Well, it looks like a little diorama, and the thing of it is, we went out of our way to put everybody's name, so it stayed up there so you know who's contributing. In the future, you'll be seeing that more and more. Great job, Bruce.
You bought the figures, you got the whole package, so...
Yeah, we had that. We had a special with those. Yeah. I know we have more. Bruce just kept them coming.
Yep, we've got 2 more from him. Next up is the Fensters.
Fensters, yeah, it says here.
Again, another highly detailed, pretty busy scene. There's a lot of stuff going on in this scene.
He has plenty of people.
Yeah, and seagulls.
And plenty of seagulls.
And no one knows why I call this one Fensters. Anybody who was around, I'm Dickens. That's it. I'm Dickens. I'm Fenster. He's Dickens. It was a TV show back in the
John Aston and Marty Ingalls.
Marty Ingalls, and that was done back in the 1960s, and that's how we came up with that name. If we really love you, you may get your name on the building, and if we really don't like you,
if you have a funny name,
or if you have a funny name like Ellis something or other.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Anyhow, there's another one by Bruce. He built all of these buildings, by the way, in 38 minutes. So.
Next up,
it took him long enough to. Yeah, it took him a while. Yeah,
it took him longer to photograph it.
Amazing.
Our last one from Bruce is
don't say it like that.
Is the Whitsingers and the Shipyard. Again, another great photo with great modeling in it. This one, isn't quite as busy, which is nice. It
looks like it's not staged yet. You can see there's no real scenery there.
You have to remember both of these are background buildings, though. So he's got plans for him to be in the back, and you don't want him too busy in the back.
He's growing spinach out in the front there or something, and he's all set. What?
Those are shrubs.
Shrubs? I was going to say something else in today's world.
They're shrubbery.
I thought he had a little business going on at Whitsingers. Anyhow, that's 2 more O-scale buildings. He's got, the funny, he's one of these guys that calls and says, "What's new? What's new?" We don't come up with that much new at all, let alone just an O-scale. Lenny, what's the next one?
All right, we've got one more photo.
Really?
Let me pull that up.
By Bruce, you mean?
No. Oh. This is our last model of the night.
Okay. You're going to like this one. This is going to be interesting.
Good thing Bruce didn't use film. That's crazy.
Now, I will say this is the first time we've ever gotten a picture of a sushi shack.
But we have an email on this.
That is the fishing shack.
This gentleman is from Olsen, Norway, from overseas, and we welcome to America. We hope you had your shots because we're supposed to hope that, I guess. His name is Trond, Trond. Oh, you see his name. I put it up there. Olsen. And Jack, you want to cover his email?
Oh, his email? No. Where's his email?
Right here. The whole thing. I am sending you... Come on, Jack. Let me do this. I am sending you some photos of my model of the fishing shack in HO scale. I changed it a little bit. Hoody, ho. Oh, jeez. And call it the shingle... I got to read this. This is hard to say. My teeth are loose. Shingle shack sushi. Say that 10 times fast. See, he knew that. Feel free to use the photos of the diorama. Thanks and keep up the great work. From Trond, A-T-L-E, Olsen, Huda, and Norway.
So it's still a bait shop.
I guess sushi.
Sorry.
That's bait for people, that's all.
Yeah. Still a bait shop.
And so with that, we have covered over 30 photographs, and we've actually haven't used them all because there were so many different angles of these models, and we only have 6 or 7 hours here to talk about this. So at any rate, that's what's going on with that. Next up on the list, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the company in a little bit. As a matter of fact, I think we'll do it now because we're going to close out with Jack's Clinic tonight. It's a really interesting one. I think you'll love it. Just so as you know, this will be our last Monday Night Live until September, possibly October, more likely September. Summer is the time that we work on new kits, that we try to catch up on production, and we sleep, go to camp, and we take a little time off. But to tell you the truth, it's still a 5-day work week for us. So for what it's worth, we are still working on the O-Scale Clarks, then the Lenny's garage, and then other stuff. I mean, the Ice House.
There's a load of stuff in there.
There's a lot of stuff. But in the meantime, we've added storage for over 300 more kits in this station because we're running out of space because we keep so much inventory. So we're doing the best we can. And I have to admit, we are taking Fridays, short day on Friday. We always do that traditionally in the summer because we have short summers in Maine, and we try to give the guys an extended weekend. That being said, Jack, you and I will be getting together, but these folks here, not until September or October. Meanwhile, keep the pictures coming. I don't know if we're going to have enough.
We still have to do the contest, though.
We have to do the contest.
So we'll see them at the
I don't
contest.
remember do you remember the original date of the
11th
contest?
of July.
The 11th of July?
Is that right, Lenny?
Yeah.
It was the 11th of July. Do me a favor, send the pictures in again, and we're going to work out something. There's been so many great things coming in that I want to make it even better than it was. I don't know how, but we're going to try to do that. With that being said, Jack and I will say kind of good night because Lenny's going to flip on Jack's video. And hopefully you like the new camera.
Well, if they have
and
any questions,
the internet is
at the
actually,
end.
we don't have any questions here. What's it say? When will the holiday? The holiday kit 2022. We just spent close to 2 hours on the phone and using FaceTime with Jim Mooney tonight, and we're up to 4 buildings out of I think 8. So should tell you something. This is going to be a very different kit. I was excited about the kit last year, but I did it as an artistic endeavor for myself. Many of you shared in that. Not as many as usual, and I didn't expect you to. But this year, what we're doing is, I think, over the top. That'll be up to you guys to judge when the time comes. Do we have any other questions? Because we will be... What's that?
We have a question. Can you run down the contest and the rules and how all that's going to work? Just as kind of an...
Yeah, we do have a kit bashing kind of contest using Bar Mills components and accessorizing with them as you please. The grand prize was, how much money was it, Lenny? It was in kits, actually, but what was the credit in kits? Do you remember?
I believe it was $250.
I think it was $250,
Yep.
and the contest ending date was July 11th.
That $250 will cover the shipping.
Yeah, these. All of a sudden, I've got a cough here. We have a lot of pictures that have been sent in, but I'd like you to resubmit them because I just can't keep up with them. You can see how many photos we had in the last month. One of them by Scott Chartier was an entry, to give you an idea. We wanted to just use that photo to kind of reintroduce what we're doing with that. There'll be a $250 main prize, and I don't know, maybe we'll even give out a secondary prize, okay? And we'll figure out what that is. If you'd like us to extend this, if there's anybody who says, look, can you bring it to another date? You know what? Nothing's in stone, and we're all friends here, so that's okay, too. What else? I'm not seeing anything else here. Lenny, anything else coming in? It's been a quiet night. There's only 50. Normally, we have quite a few more people on, but this is an off night, hardly your first Monday. You know what happened the first Monday? I ended up with gout. The second Monday, Lenny ended up with COVID. So
I had to work.
And he had to work last Monday, fortunately, because it worked within Lenny's COVID schedule, because Lenny gets COVID every 4 weeks, it seems. We planned that, yeah.
I got 30 people.
And I've got, this is a little bit lower tonight, but a lot of people watch this on reruns. So stick around for Jack's Clinic, and you're going to love it. It's only about 9 minutes long, and we will see you You know the song "See You in September." I'm not gonna sing it.
Thank you.
It could be "See You in October." We will keep you posted. So for Barn Mills, for Lenny, myself, of course, Jack, Nancy, Jim Mooney, and the rest of the Barn Mills crew, and there are more of us, believe it or not. Thanks for stopping by. Lenny, take it away with Jack's Clinic for tonight. Thanks, guys. It's been great. It's been a year and a half so far of doing this, ups and downs. Tonight seemed to work okay, and that's a good thing. All right, I don't know why, but it did. Thanks very much. Lenny, are you ready?
Let's go to the video.
See you guys later. The clinic we're going to talk about today is we have roofs out here all the time, and we need to put chimneys on the roof. We need to put vent pipes. We need to put big vents on the things. And how do you do it sometimes when you've got a pitch on the roof and you got a flat bottom to what you have, and you're trying to get the angle right to get it to look straight. So I'm going to give you a couple of easy ways to fix that problem. I have one chimney here we're going to deal with, and it has a straight bottom to it. But we're going to have to, how do you get it to make this angle exactly the right way, and then have it stick so it's strong enough on the roof. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to actually cut into the roof, and we're going to set it onto a little platform. So I'll show you how to do that in this next segment. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chimney or the vent or whatever it is I want to be put in this, and I'm going to find a place on the building I want to do it. And then I'm going to mark the width of it with a pencil on both sides this way. I'm going to mark the top line, and then I'm going to project this line down about where I think I want it to be. So I'm going to make myself a rectangle. It's going to be bigger than the bottom because of the angle. The next thing I'm going to do is find a brand new number 11 blade, and I'm going to actually cut right into the roof. This is a cardboard roof. It might be a little harder with a wooden roof. And I'm only going to cut the 3 sides, the 2 sides and the very top. Just like that, right down there. We're going to leave that one. And I'm going to actually peel out, and then I'm going to cut this side. I'm going to just cut the shingles. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to peel them shingles right out. This is shingles on the roof. It could be tar paper, it could be shingles. What I've created now is a little bitty square that now I can just make a little platform. And if I cut it right, I didn't cut it deep enough. So again, all I'm going to do is go down a little bit more. This is good because it shows you how to correct what I do wrong. I'm going to cut those shingles out of there. I still have my little base. And do I need any more? No, I think I can do it. So now what you do is you want to look at the kit. See, this one has vertical lines, which is really cool. You can kind of line the vertical lines up this way, and you can see that now on this one it's tipped this way. So I'm going to tip it a little bit this way and kind of get it where I want it, looking at it both ways this way. And now I've got it stuck right in the roof. We use the flat bottom. So the next step is a little bit of tacky glue, and I'm going to go back, slide that chimney right in. Look this way, tip it. You can lots of times you can get it the way you want it to tip. And there you go. Yeah, we're going to let that chimney dry, and that'll give it, we'll do a little more to it in the end. I'm going to do now is I'm going to, on the side with the tar paper, we're going to put a vent pipe in. They're very common in buildings. And I like to use is my awl, because I can take this awl, and this is a cardboard roof again. If it would, you may have to use a drill. And I can push it through, and I can get it almost vertical, if you can see. And it kind of gets me a little where I need to be. And I can drop that in. I probably went too, you want to go slow, because you don't want to go too fast. So you want to put that right in like that. Now I think that's probably a little tall for that building. So what I would do is this is a piece of aluminum pipe that you can buy at any hobby store. Get a couple pieces. You always want a piece. It's easy to cut. I'm going to take a little bit of the ACC, or AC, sorry. I'm going to put it on the end of it. And then I'm going to get it. Again, I'm going to use these lines to line it up. See if it's straight. Put it right in like that. And if I twist it a bunch, it's going to create a little filler around the bottom. So when I go to paint this with some rust, I can paint that right over, and it's going to just look like it's a gap. And that's an easy way to get a pipe right into the thing. With this awl, I can get it up vertically, and I can get, it looks like it might be a little that way, so I can kind of tag it a little bit. Look at it both ways. Looks pretty good. And there's a vent pipe, real quick and fast. Now we're going to look at something that's in the peak of the roof. When you build your roofs, be careful. If you want something that's in the peak and you put a brace across here, you're going to run into it. So you want to make sure, if you're going to have something on the peak, to drop your brace down lower about here. So you'll be out of that, you'll be out of the way of the chimney or whatever vent's going in. So the next thing you do is the same thing we did before. We put the chimney in, we trace either side of it and the bottom of it so we can create a piece to cut out. So we're going to just take a brand new knife blade. We're going to cut it like this. Same thing, both sides. Cut it right down through. And then we're going to split the top. If you need to, you can adjust this by just cutting a little bit more on this side or that side. Ooh, pop it in there. Pop that little chimney right in. There you go. And that's done, basically. So I can go right at the top of the roof, I can go in the middle of the roof, or I can put vents in. Very simple. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to put some copper flashing in. And what this is this piece of our tar paper that I've colored Sea Mist Green, which is apple barrel, Sea Mist Green. Any green that's that light powdery green you can use. And I'm going to cut a strip of it, maybe a scale 1/2 inch. And I'm going to cut a little bit longer than I want piece. And basically, I'm only going to do it at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it right down there at the bottom. Yeah, let me get it down here so you can see. See, like that. Just like that. We can do the same thing here as we did here with a small piece. You like this? And we're going to put it right at the bottom here. It's going to fill right in there. And what we're going to do to make it look like copper is we're going to dry brush it with white and put some ink and alcohol over the top until it looks like it's been there for a long time. The last step I'm going to do in the chimney is I'm going to use and put some what they call roof tar around the chimney so it would seal up the water so it wouldn't go around the chimney. Normally they would have copper flashing, but I think the tar looks a little better. So what I'm going to use is some glossy apple barrel black and some white glue. And I'm going to mix up the two of them. Just take some glue, some paint, and I'm going to mix this up. And I like a dark black. I'm mixing with the glue because I want it to be a little thicker so it'll fill the gap. If you have a little gap in there, it'll solve that problem, fill the gap. It's also going to sturdy up the chimney because it's a glue. You're going to glue the edges in. So you can see what I've got here. So now, remember, put your caps back on your paint so you don't end up with a big blob on your leg or on the floor. I'm going to get a small brush, maybe a 00. I'm going to put it in, I'm going to twirl it and dab it on the edge. And then I'm just going to take this and work it right down there. I'm going to build it up a little bit on the roof. Don't go crazy. A little bit on the roof and a little bit on the thing. You want to go in behind the roof, which is the hardest part, some buildings. And then I'm going to do this far side. This far side has a little bigger gap. So now here's where I'm going to kind of build that gap up. Again, they would have slapped it on, so it doesn't really matter. So what you end up with is tar around the sides, your copper flashing on the bottom, and your chimney on the roof. So now you've taken a square bottom chimney and put an angle roof without having to try and match the angle of the roof. Real simple. Little weathering powders beneath it because your water would run down. Dry brushing across the copper, some black on it, and you got the same thing. Your cap on the roof would come right up to the chimney, would fix the sides. You probably wouldn't need to use the tar because the cap would come and seal off the edge of the roof. The same thing on this side, you're going to do the same thing. I would then take my rust weathering powders and I would rust this up a little bit and streak it a little bit, some streaked black. Same thing over here. I'm going to use black rundown, and maybe I'll go back over and some white streaks on the roof. And that's about it. I mean, I can get anything I want in the roof real simple without trying to match the angle, get it straight, because it's very hard to try to match it. I can push it in that hole to get it straight, but if I've got an angle on it and I want it to stick, it doesn't stick as well. And they're much stronger because they go into the roof. They go right down into the roof. These don't always work for every situation, but most situations you can use this method, and it gives you that little platform to set them on. And you can put them any way you want after you shingle the roof. You can figure out where you want. Just, you have to remember, you have bracing underneath. You don't want to hit the bracing. So give it a try. You'll see that it's not as hard as it looks. You can cover up your mistakes with that tar and make it look really good. So that's all for chimneys to roofs and vents to roofs. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.